go. Now some progress. Progress, another P.
Woohoo.
You know, between Dolores and Dell, we've had a lot of alliteration for the last 8 weeks. And this suggested title is not, far from that. Percolating your passion with purpose. And I popped my P and now.
Top your hips, girl.
Drop it.
Up it. Okay, percolating your passion with purpose. And I often think of this, the two, if it's your true purpose, you will feel passionate about it. So, what is your passion? They're very well linked, but I can also see where they can be augmented. The first thing you really have to do is ask, what does passion mean to me? What does the word mean to me? And if I really think about it, do I have a passion, right? Is there anything in my life that I feel particularly passionate about? When asked, the soccer player, we call them soccer players in this country.
Yeah.
In other countries, they're called footballers.
Yeah.
So when Pele, the Brazilian footballer, was asked about passion, he said, I was born to play football, meaning soccer. I was born to play football, just like Beethoven was born to write music and Michelangelo was born to paint. So it suggests they're a calling that would be another synonym for your purpose. Myself, I have always wanted to be a teacher. I mean, when I was little, right? I think I've said before that I would harness my brother to be my student until he'd say, this is too much like school, and he'd leave. I didn't care what I was teaching as long as I was teaching. And then I got started after college, got a French teaching foreign languages because I majored in French and Spanish. And I discovered that teaching them over and over again, year after year, that was too much of the same thing. It didn't vary any. Este es Paco, sí, yo soy Paco. I mean, you're not going to vary that, right? You have to learn it. So I went back to college, got a master's degree in humanities, because then I could change the subject matter. Every time that I felt like I was getting a little bored with it, I just change it or shift it a bit and add new stuff. And that kept me interested for 48 years of teaching. And then, so I was loving my teaching, I was doing my purpose, and then I retired. And okay, now what? How does the universe use me now? And hello, here I am. And the good thing is I don't have to give you an exam. I don't have to grade any papers. I don't have to go to teachers' meetings. Hallelujah. I just get to do the fun part. Right? So looking at our purpose, each time that shifted for me, I got more passion along with my purpose. And when I'm talking about something that I care about, like today, then the whole thing is far more exciting and the energy level is way up there. And they used to always say I was an enthusiastic teacher when I was teaching humanities. Well, guess what? It's even more, it feels like that for me even more. So when we say, do you have a passion? Is there anything that you feel strongly passionate about? And if you do, is there a goal involved? I read a novel recently. I didn't actually read it. I listened to it and then it shifted off where I gave it back. But it made me think. It was called How to Stop Time. And the main character was someone who'd already been alive for 400 years and he looked like he was 42. So he was a miserable person. Everybody around him was going to age and die out, and then he would be discovered, right? You've all seen The Age of Adelaide, whatever. That movie was, I love that movie. And she was having that problem. Her daughter became her grandmother, right in people's eyes, so that they could still see each other, but she looked 30, so it isn't all so great to say I'm going to live forever. Think about it. But the longevity issue was an interesting one. What would your purpose be if you were a dog? I was reminded of that by a friend who said, well, a dog's life is only about 12, 14 years. Okay, so it takes 2 years to maturity. And then I'm going to have 10 years left at best. And the last 2 may not be so good. So that gives me about 8. What can I accomplish in 8 years? Dogs don't think like that. But you can imagine you've got to grow up. You've got to find a mate. You've got to raise some puppies and then hope that they're ready to go for the world if you leave this planet. Whereas our age group, we already know that humans live to be anywhere from 68, 75, and up to 100. Well, okay. So young people in that first 50 years are looking at, what's my end goal? Well, I want to go to college. I want to get a degree or something. I want to go to tech school and come out with a skill. I want to get a job. I want to find a wife or a husband. I want to get a family. I want to get a house. And I want to retire. And then I'll start living. The issue there is it's always an end goal, an end goal, an end goal. After 50 or 60, there's like, now we're reversing that. Okay, I'm going to be retiring soon. What do I want to do when I retire? What is my purpose? If I have been doing my calling, what's my purpose now? And a lot of people get stuck there. And statistically, a lot of men go home, because they feel like their usefulness to the world is over with. Their kids are grown, the mortgage is almost paid off, and they have no purpose anymore. And 65, 66, 68, an awful lot of men in this world, and now women who are professionals, go home in their mid to late 60s. It's like life's over. Don't stop so soon. Don't stop so soon. On the other hand, there are stages of life, and we have to allow the universe, as it works through us, to give us different purposes over time. Some people may have been an accountant all their life, and then they take up the steel guitar or something in their 60s, and pretty soon they're getting together with their buddies, creating a rock band. And that's their passion for another 10 years. If we're willing to think big, if we're willing to think creatively, we can break out of the box that says, this is what I did all my life. This is what I was trained to do. Now I'm retired. I'm going to sit around in a hammock like the life of Harvey, which to me sounds utterly boring. It doesn't sound boring when you're still working 48 hours a week and you're exhausted. But once you've done that for 6 months, you're kind of saying, okay, what else has life got for me? Now, I was experiencing just a fragment, just a hint of that a couple of weeks ago when I thought to myself, I don't feel as enthusiastic about things as I had been. What's going on with this? Where's my passion? And then my girlfriend Janet called. I said this briefly after your talk last week. My girlfriend Janet called and she says, where's my passion? I need a new idea. I need a big idea to live into. And we discussed that for over an hour and a half. And that's what sort of set the tone then for this week. And I come in that same afternoon and he's talking about passion. What is your passion? So I figured, yep, the universe is trying to tell me something here. And I looked at it and I saw that I had dipped into routine. How many of us can relate to getting into a routine? Yeah. And pretty soon you get up in the morning, you know what you're thinking of your list of things to do. You click them off all day long. You get it all done. And at night you sit down in front of the TV and veg out until it's bedtime. And then you start the next day with another routine. That is soul deadening. And I realized I was easing out down that slippery slope. And I said, it's up to me. If life isn't as exciting as I want it to be, guess who gets to make it more exciting? Yours truly, right? So I started saying, okay, so how do I do that? I've got to wake up in the morning feeling a great deal of gratitude for everything in my life. If I start the day with gratitude, guess what? The universe is going to respond to the gratitude feeling and give me more things to feel grateful for. If I wake up feeling, oh, I got to do this again, I got to do that. Oh, gee. Guess what? You're going to have even more things piled onto you that day. Just works that way. The attraction, the law of attraction. So the best thing to do then is to just start off with the feeling tone you want the whole day to have. I'm glad to be alive. It's raining, thank God, after so many hot days. It's sunny, thank God for the sunshine, right? It's cloudy. Oh my God, thank you. I've slept in an extra 3 hours because my room never lit up. I mean, there's always something to be thankful for. Thank you for soft sheets, a warm bed, maybe a cool bed, maybe a ceiling fan, whatever it takes. Start thinking about what there is to be grateful for. Get yourself moving into that feeling tone of appreciation. And the next thing you know, you're excited to get up out of bed to do the next thing and the next thing. And everything carries a glow about it. And since I started thinking of this last weekend, I've had a wonderful week. I've gotten so much accomplished. It was just phenomenal. And of course, everything I accomplished made me feel good that I'd gotten it done. Some things were really long in coming, and they got done this week. And it just felt so good. So that by the end of the week, I was excited. I mean, every day this week has been fun. It's up to us to bring the passion into our lives. A minute ago, I was talking about stages of life, and I was also talking about longevity. But think for a minute, if you were told, if you knew for whatever reason that you maybe had 3 years left to live, would you want to be doing exactly what you're doing now? Because if you are, you're probably on purpose. And you probably have brought a great deal of passion to what you're doing. But if you are not, if you say, boy, if I only had 3 years to live, I think I would definitely go out and quit my job, and I would take a trip, and I would go see those relatives that I haven't seen in 6 years. And I would, you start thinking about, what have I left undone? And why have I left it undone? There's a great little quote I saw this week. It's by an Indian sage whose name I cannot pronounce. And he said, the song I came to sing has not yet been sung. I have spent my life tuning the strings. Now, my roommate, or actually my friend Vicky, took that one way and I took it another. So the original was stringing and unstringing my instrument. So take the tuning the strings as getting ready, but never quite singing that song. Why not? Why not? Are we lacking a vision? Vision, that big idea that Janet was talking about. Vision is what allows you to flesh out a 2-dimensional life of commitments to a 3-dimensional life of vitality. I'll say that again. Vision, a big idea, is what allows you to flesh out a 2-dimensional life of commitments to a 3-dimensional life of vitality. What is your big idea? What is your big idea? Now you might say, well, I don't really have one. I've known a lot of people said, I never knew what I wanted to do. So I just took jobs. I never really had a passion. I never really had a sense of, I want to be a minister, or I want to be a teacher, or I want to be a musician, or whatever, a footballer. Okay, so where do we find them? If we don't have a passion, we all came here for a reason. We all came here with a purpose. But we can confuse jobs, careers, and things like that with purpose. And maybe that's not the purpose our soul came for. Maybe our soul is here to stand in the spaces where there's no joy and bring joy to those spaces. Maybe our purpose is to love the people around us when they don't feel lovable. Maybe our purpose is to bring a vibration of harmony into a meeting that is contentious. That is standing in the space and bringing the harmony to it. Maybe our purpose is to listen to people with intention, with focus, and not say, oh yeah, that's nice, and keep going. But to really hear what the person is saying inside. What's underneath the words they're using? What's their body posture saying about what they're saying? You know, oh yeah, everything's fine. Do you believe that? Not when it's said with that kind of body posture. If you're paying attention to people, if we're all paying attention to the person that's talking to us, we're going to hear. And when they have an audience that is listening without judgment, they're going to say more of what's truly on their heart because they feel safe. Think of the gift that is when so many people go through the world not feeling seen at all. So what are we here for? Pele was here to play football. I'm here perhaps to teach and give talks, to be a communicator. But there are other things that we're here for too, that are so important, more important. Ernest Holmes says, in expressing more life, we are expressing a greater degree of infiniteness of the spirit. We are more completely personifying it, the infinite of the spirit, right? We are more completely personifying it. This is the real purpose and meaning of existence. It is the nature of the spirit to express through us, not in limitation, not in fear or want, but in freedom. But in freedom. So if we are not expressing the freedom of our souls, if we're feeling trapped in a job we don't want, or if we're feeling trapped in a family situation like somebody's really sick and we feel like we got to take care of them, but my God, it's just draining me and all, we can find those things in life. But when we do, there's a deeper resource we can call on. A deeper resource that we can call on. The idea that, I love that, somebody said that recently, God plus one equals a majority. And I'm the one plus one, you're the plus one, you're the plus one. In any given situation, you can bring healing to the situation and to yourself when you invite God in. When you invite God in, show me the bigger picture. What is my purpose here? Am I here to build something? Am I here to support? Am I here to assist? Am I here to give? To grow personally? Is this a soul journey that I've got to learn a bunch of lessons? Am I here to glow? You know, give, grow, glow. When you invite the spirit into your consciousness, you say, what am I here for, God? you will get an answer, just like the song said. You can't invite it in without getting an answer. But don't get pushy with God. You don't want to say, okay, God, what am I here for? And expect an answer in 30 seconds. You have been rejecting that answer for a long time if you don't already have it. So when you open up and you say, I'm here to receive divine ideas, the big idea for my life. I'm here to receive that, Lord. Let me be an open vessel to hear what you have to say. And then you want to be very careful not to miss it. I was doing a tarot reading yesterday, and it was interesting. One of the cards, I was doing reading. One of the cards came up. Be careful and go slowly. There's little things along the way that are important to you. Don't dismiss them. Because the little things over time will add up to a big aha. But you have to be able to recognize it and not immediately, oh, I've been there, done that already. That didn't work 10 years ago. Hey, maybe 10 years ago wasn't the right time. Maybe it's time to try it again. So when you ask, there has to be an open receptivity to say, okay, speak to me, God, and I will do my very best to pay attention when you are. When you are. Creative ideas don't come upon demand, they come by invitation. So we have to be patient. But we have to know, just like the song said, you have to know it's going to be there. It's coming. It's already there. It's just opening our minds to receive it. Dreams can tell you. Aha moments can tell you. You can hear something on TV and I go, boy, yo, 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 yo. That's my answer. Lots of ways. Lots of ways. And if you feel like there's something you really want to do, but you feel trapped, like I don't have enough money, I don't have enough education, I have to pay my bills, I can't leave this job, I can't leave that family situation, I can't. Joseph Campbell says, follow your bliss, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls. I love that. Follow your bliss, follow your guidance, follow your soul's longing, and the universe will open doors for you where there were only walls before. You know that to be true. And you can blend your purpose and your passion, and it will be, your vitality level will just go up and up and up and up. And people are then drawn into your circle of excitement and enthusiasm about life, and they get more excited and enthusiastic. So when we do it for ourselves, we're not healed alone. Really good stuff. So I'm going to stop there. Have a good week. Okay. Now, open for